There are crimes that shock, crimes that haunt, crimes that change lives forever. Some are buried by time. Others demand to be remembered. This is Crime Never Forgiven, where we uncover the truth, where justice may sleep, but it never dies. The Quiet Before. It was a cold winter morning in Spokane, Washington. Snow-dusted rooftops like powdered sugar. The kind of day that felt still, untouched, like nothing could possibly go wrong. But on February 2nd, 1996, something did. Inside Frontier Middle School. Students shuffled into their classrooms, backpacks heavy, minds still half asleep. Lockers slammed shut, laughter echoed down the halls, and in room 203, algebra class had just begun. Then came the first shot, a sound so loud it shattered silence like glass. Laughter turned to screams. One boy stood up, another fell, and a town would never be the same again. His name was Barry Loukaitis, 14 years old, quiet, intelligent, different. He wasn't the popular kid. He wasn't the jock or the class clown or the one who always knew what to say. He was the one they laughed at. They called him Space Cadet. Weird Barry. They mocked his weight, his acne, his stutter. Every day another punchline, another joke, another reminder that he didn't belong. But Barry didn't cry. He didn't lash out. He just watched. He listened. And inside something broke. Barry was smart, gifted even. He loved science fiction, space exploration, drawing intricate blueprints of futuristic weapons. He wrote stories filled with heroes and villains, battles and betrayals. But as he got older, the lines between fantasy and reality began to blur. In one journal entry, he described a boy named Vengeance, a character who kills those who laugh at him. No one read those pages. If they had, maybe someone would have acted, maybe someone would have reached out. Instead, Barry became more isolated, more withdrawn. He told friends he wanted to do something big. They laughed. He didn't. He didn't snap randomly. He planned this. For months, he practiced in the woods behind his house, firing the shotgun he stole from his father's collection. He posted anonymously in online forums, talking about violence, about justice, about how people deserve what's coming. Adults saw this behavior and shrugged. He's just going through a phase, they said. He's just being a teenager, they thought. But Barry wasn't going through a phase. He was building a moment when everyone would finally see him, even if it cost him everything. It started with a duffel bag, sitting beside his desk in room 203. When Barry unzipped it, no one thought much of it, until he pulled out the gun. At first, some students laughed. They thought it was a prank. Then came the first shot, and the second, and the third. Mr. Jonathan Schmidt ducked behind his desk. Two students tried to run. Garrison Shaw, Nicolette Geske. Both were shot. One survived, one didn't. Barry lowered the gun. He looked around. Silence. He sat down and waited. News helicopters circled the school within minutes. Parents raced to the scene, crying, screaming, praying. Garrison was rushed to the hospital. He lived. Nicolette didn't. She was only 13, a straight A student, a girl with dreams of becoming a marine biologist. She was planning to audition for the school play the next week. Now she was gone. And the boy who killed her? Still alive, still breathing, still waiting. Could a 14-year-old be tried as an adult? That question gripped the nation. Prosecutors argued yes. They painted Barry as a calculating killer who planned his attack for months. They showed the journal entries, the online chats, the stolen gun. Defense attorneys argued no. They called experts who testified about trauma, mental illness, and the effects of chronic bullying. They pleaded for mercy. This child was failed by everyone around him, his attorney said. His parents, his teachers, his peers. And now you want to sentence him to life in prison? He made a choice, the prosecutor replied. He pulled the trigger. He deserves justice, not sympathy. During the trial, Barry never showed emotion. Not once. He stared blankly at the courtroom, rarely blinking. At times, he seemed bored. Other times, he looked like he was watching a movie, not living it. On June 17, 1997, Barry Loukaitis was sentenced to life in prison without parole for the murder of Nicolette Geske, over 100 years for the attempted murders of Garrison Shaw and Mr. Schmidt, additional time for assault and firearm charges. He became the Juvenile, first minor in Washington state history to receive a life sentence without parole for a school shooting. As the judge read the verdict, Nicolette's mother collapsed in tears. Barry showed no reaction. Barry entered prison at age 16. He was placed in adult facilities due to the severity of his crimes. Over time, he grew taller, leaner, quieter. He avoided fights, spoke little, read often. He began writing poetry. Some of it was published anonymously in prison literary magazines. In one poem he wrote, "I was a whisper lost in thunder, a shadow buried in light. I wanted them to see me, so I gave them reason to hate me." Prison staff describe him as compliant, non-threatening, but also unreachable. He has refused interviews. He has never apologized publicly. Yet some claim he wants to help prevent future shootings. He has written letters to juvenile detention centers, urging kids to seek help before it's too late. "Don't let your pain turn into poison," he wrote. "Talk to someone, anyone. It doesn't make you weak, it makes you human." Does he regret what he did? Maybe. Or maybe he still believes he was justified. We may never know. Today, Frontier Middle School still stands. Its halls have been repainted. New students walk its corridors. Time moves forward, but the memory lingers. Every year on February 2nd, a small group gathers at the edge of the school grounds. They leave flowers, they light candles, they remember Nicolette, Garrison, Mr. Schmidt, and the boy who changed everything, Barry Loukaitis, a name whispered with fear, pity, and sometimes confusion. Because the hardest truth isn't that monsters exist, it's that sometimes they start out as children. Barry Loukaitis was not the last. He was one of the first. Before Columbine, before Sandy Hook, before Parkland, before every parent feared sending their child to school. We look back now and ask, could we have stopped him? Could we have seen the signs? Maybe. But the real question is, will we see the next one? Because there will always be another quiet boy in the back of the room, another journal filled with rage, another heart breaking in silence, and unless we learn to listen, the bullets may fly again.